We start tonight in storm mode. Looking at the radar, you can see why there's a lot of red and yellow over the Chesapeake Bay and the eastern shore. Jeff is tracking that for us right now. Jeff.
An amazing light show out there. Throughout the summer, we've been tracking the number of lightning strikes, and we haven't had one of these storms that's had thousands of strikes with it until this one, at least not on the days I've been working. We've had many hundreds of strikes in a half an hour's time, but look at that line. So there is a severe thunderstorm. It is out for Accomack, just the southern maybe 10 miles of Accomack and all of Northampton. That is until 11:15 this evening. But look at the strikes in just half an hour. Again, by far in the days I've been working, the highest number, 1,440 lightning strikes. And that's just from the clouds down to the ground. Doesn't include in between the clouds or in each individual cloud. So that is a tremendous amount of lightning, and that storm has really been gathering some momentum here over the last hour or so as it moves at about 25 miles per hour to the northeast. So right now, if you live in any of those areas that are impacted, you should be taking cover or about to be impacted. Bayford at around 11:04, Nassawatuk's 11:13, 11:19 at Davis Wharf, continuing over toward Exmoor 11:25. And then Painter at around 11:36 or so. Not a lot of hail with it, relatively minimal hail. That's about pea size. Once you get down to the ground, it melts a little bit, so roughly maybe half of that size. A little bit of rain up across areas more toward the northern neck, just out of the middle peninsula, and then a batch out here near Wakefield that is sort of drifting to the northeast as well. So for the next 12 hours, we're going to watch those temperatures fall back into the 70s. Some isolated showers and isolated storms continuing for another couple of hours, then they ease off, and then the odds start to go back up during the day tomorrow again, but with temperatures not as hot. That's what I'll talk about. Oh, and the tropics, we have Florence about to form. I'll mention that as well.
All right, thank you, Jeff. You can track the storms and the rain wherever you are, even when we are not on the air. Just download the 13 News Now app at 13newsnow.com. Right now, work crews are in the process of opening the Lesner Bridge to traffic in both directions. This is a big milestone for the project in Virginia Beach that's been years in the making. 13 News Now reporter Chanu Her is live there for us tonight. Chanu.
Yeah, absolutely, David. This is the project that's been a long time coming. And tonight, as you can see, there are crews out here working on the Lesner Bridge. Also with the city crews tonight is the Virginia Beach Police, just out here directing traffic. All hands on deck tonight to make sure that everything runs smoothly so the bridge can open tomorrow by 5 a.m. for drivers. Now, residents who I spoke with who have been walking on this walking path today say they're excited because they've watched this project go on for years. It's good news for those who live near the Lesner Bridge, like Tim Solonic.
I live a block away from the bridge in Ocean Park.
Who hasn't missed much of the ongoing project the last few years.
I've heard it, seen it, been up on the other side hundreds of times.
Walking on the bridge regularly like him is Patrick Tyson. He hits this on his weekly 40-mile walk around Virginia Beach.
I walk onto the park and stuff.
Both were among the first to walk on the new multi-use path on the eastbound side of the Lesner Bridge, opening for the first time Thursday.
We have a bunch of different users for that bridge. We got vehicles, we got cyclists, we got pedestrians.
Project manager Chris Witowich explained that the changes Thursday are more than just the path, but also to traffic. The eastbound bridge lanes will open up for drivers finally. Crews will slowly, in stages, move eastbound traffic to the new lanes and keep westbound traffic only on the west side of the bridge throughout the night.
Having the extra lanes is really going to improve, so much.
In total, there will be 2 lanes moving in each direction while the city finishes up the rest of the work in the next few months, like building the same multi-use path but on the west side.
Right now, we still have to build out that multi-use path that we don't have the room right now to do it with all the traffic. So we will have that room as soon as we move that traffic off the bridge where it needs to be on the eastbound bridge.
Now, like we mentioned, there are lots of crews out here working tonight, including police. So the project manager wants drivers who are going to be driving on the bridge tonight and tomorrow morning to just be cautious, be attentive, because again, there are crews and lots of people out here working for the rest of the night into the early morning. Live in Virginia Beach, Chanu Her, 13 News Now.
New information tonight out of James City County. Authorities there say mercury spilled out of a container and into a U.S. Postal Service vehicle this afternoon. It happened on Nolan Boulevard in Lightfoot. We're told one firefighter suffered a heat-related injury but is stable tonight in the hospital, and there is no threat here to the public. Developing tonight in Norfolk, firefighters are looking into what started a house fire this morning that ended up taking the life of an elderly man. It happened on Beechwood Avenue. Firefighters say when they got to the home, they found the 92-year-old on the steps outside. He'd been burned. Medics took the man to the hospital where he later died. We're told the fire doesn't appear to be suspicious. Labor Day weekend celebrations begin tomorrow with the 25th Annual American Music Festival. 30 bands are set to perform at the oceanfront in the next 3 days, including big names like Ziggy Marley and Goo Goo Dolls and ZZ Top. There's a chance of rain in the forecast, but 13 News Now reporter Robert Boyd tells us it won't stop the show thanks to a brand new stage.
Well, this 20-person crew here behind me has been building the state-of-the-art brand new stage since Tuesday, located right here on 5th Street at the oceanfront. And when the lights go up tomorrow night, Soja and Ziggy Marley will be ready to rock. And if it rains, well, they'll definitely stay dry. 26 hours. That's about how long it takes, start to finish, for these men and women in hard hats to complete the 5th Street stage, which will house the headlining acts of this year's American Music Fest.
Artists love playing here on the beach. You know, what better venue with the ocean right behind you?
But what artists don't like is getting wet. The old 5th Street stage could be problematic when it came to rain because it was made of scaffolding.
It's scaffolding, there's holes everywhere. You can't seal up if you have 95 posts going up through. This here, because of the way it's designed, you can waterproof it a lot more.
Jacob Smolnak is in charge of erecting the new stage. He says even with heavy wind and rain, the rock stars and their equipment will stay dry.
If it's raining, you can keep a concert going as long as the artist wants to stay out there. Something like this, 25-mile-an-hour winds, you're still good.
And the new stage requires a lot less manpower.
This is all automated. You hit a button, the walls go up. You hit a button, the walls come down.
Jacob says they've already received positive feedback from the production crews that travel with the bands. Every group requires something different during their show.
How they want to lay out their lighting, their sound, all that.
The American Music Festival says keeping entertainers happy is what has made this the longest-running music festival in Hampton Roads. And the new stage is one more step in that direction.
One of the things that we've really worked at through the years is to have a variety of artists.
Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
Millions of people will be on the roads and on the water celebrating the unofficial end of summer. First responders want to make sure they're all safe. State police are stepping up patrols on the highways for Labor Day Operation Care starting just after midnight tonight. Troopers say the number of people killed in crashes during the Labor Day holiday has dropped each of the last 3 years, and they hope that trend continues. 5 days of services honoring Senator John McCain will continue on the East Coast tomorrow. The war hero's body landed at Joint Base Andrews just a few hours ago after another emotional day of memorial services in his home state of Arizona. ABC's Elizabeth Herr is in Washington tonight with more.
Senator John McCain arriving at Joint Base Andrews to a solemn ceremony by a military honor guard. Defense Secretary James Mattis also on the ground paying tribute with the McCain family. This marking the senator's final journey to Washington after leaving Arizona, his adopted home state. Amazing grace. Where earlier in the day,
I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race.
Family and friends.
I'm black. He was white. I'm young. He wasn't so young. He celebrated differences.
Honored the 6th-term senator for his values in life.
And he could not stand the abuse of power.
While Vice President and his close friend Joe Biden praised McCain for his patriotism.
He believed in the American people. To paraphrase Shakespeare, we shall not see his like again.
And the moving memorial service.
I did it my way.
Coming to a close with Frank Sinatra's My Way music McCain chose himself. McCain's body will now lie in state at the U.S. Capitol tomorrow, which will be open to the public following a ceremony where Vice President Pence is scheduled to speak. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, Washington.
4 Oceana-based Super Hornet squadrons will fly a missing man formation at Senator McCain's funeral at the U.S. Naval Academy on Sunday. The formation is an aerial salute that aviators perform in memory of one of their own. Senator McCain was a naval pilot who was shot down over Vietnam before he was held prisoner for more than 5 years.